Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. The Dodgers continue their historic pace. Yanks and Twins, the Plouffe-Storiale rivalry went off, and so many standouts. Let's go. Players only. I see you, Bregman. Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball on Friday, September 9th. A big day for myself, Beebs, Trevor, John Boy, his presence being felt as Derek Jeter. Derek Jeter Day at the stadium, Trev. He's coming back, his first time. Are you excited?
You think he's going to get booed or what?
I think he might get, if he's willing to move to left field, I think he gets some run tonight with the lineup the Yanks are running out. Did you see the video he posted with his girls? They're asking questions about the game. You'd love it, Trev.
I would like to see that. I'm a big dad guy. You got to be a good dad. It's just the bottom line. Is Jeets like athletic still? Like I always claim that I'm the best recreational like ball player around now.
Yeah.
Like is Jeets going to give me a run for my money or is he too old?
There's only one way to find out, Jeets. Let's get you in the warehouse, kid.
Let's in the warehouse, Jeets. I mean,
yeah.
You get in that box.
Yeah.
Against Forgotten Rotten. We'll let you go on team baggage.
Oh.
See what happens.
That might be Jimmy's only height exception that he'd allow on team baggage would be if Jeets comes through the warehouse. Trev, how you doing, dude? I want to give you some love early. I didn't know how you'd be coming in today. You're in beautiful spirits, and I'm going to even fluff you up even more because I saw a pic of you coaching the kids yesterday. And, man, I love it. Those kids get to be coached by Trevor Plouffe. Are you kidding me?
Can't call yourself Coach Trev. You ain't coaching, baby.
Right.
It's our first practice yesterday. We have a game on Saturday. Got the kids out there. I was telling Chris Rose this morning about all the rules I put into place. And sometimes I feel like I maybe am overstepping my boundaries, but then I realize like you need structure for these kids.
Yeah.
I'm making them say yes, coach, no, coach to me.
Ooh.
How do you feel about that?
Oh, I love it.
I do
love
too.
it.
I do too.
Because you know what? They're going to be 19 drinking at some OC party, and they're going to be like, remember when Coach Trev used to make us say yes, coach, no, coach? And they'd be like, you know, playing beer pong, being like, yeah, shot. And they'll be thinking of you, man. So, yeah, dude.
I don't know about that, but okay. No one's going to be drinking in the future. Everyone's going to psychedelics. You know that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And that's what the second half of the show is about. The first half of the show is going to be about baseball and then psychedelics. Some good series this week. The standouts and in Fuego is arguably our biggest of the year. That means the boys were bopping. And when the boys are bopping, Trev, you got your coach look. I've got my coach look. My coach look is brought to you by Shady Rays. Shady Rays is changing the way you wear sunglasses. Outdoors, they say in their thing, I wear them indoors. You know, people are starting to ask questions. Our new CEO constantly thinks I'm hungover, and I keep telling him,
wow,
the future psychedelics. I don't drink. I just do everything else. Shady Rays. They have their lost and broken replacement guarantee. You guys have seen, I've lost and broken a pair of Shady Rays. They sent me a new pair. So basically, you're getting lifelong shades from Shady Rays, and they're giving you a real deal. With code TALKIN at ShadyRays.com, you will get 50% off 2+ pairs of premium polarized shades. 50% off 2+ pairs of premium polarized shades with code TALKIN. Shady Rays is the best. I am so linked to Shady Rays. Someone I know, someone who works at John Boy Media, was like, you have a doppelganger. I saw someone that looks just like you somewhere on the Jersey Shore. It's shocking there's someone on the Jersey Shore that would look like me. And they were about to say hi, and then they saw the sunglasses weren't Shady Rays, and they were like, I don't think that's Jake. That's how Shady Rays I am. So go check them out, ShadyRays.com, code TALKIN, 50% off 2+ pairs of premium polarized shades.
I love it. I'm seeing those things everywhere.
They're huge, man.
They really are. I didn't know that. I don't know everything about the sunglass industry.
If I leave home without a pair of sunglasses, I'm now uncomfortable.
Oh, me too.
I was never
bright light just
that.
doesn't do it for me. I don't like it. It's too bright.
And Trev, we'll circle back on this at the end of the episode. Your boy played Bethpage Black yesterday.
What?
Tough start. But no, it's not a tough start. The National League, as you guys know, sometimes we do our big boy lineup. We put our power up top. And Trevor Plouffe is going to present us with the beautiful National League. You ready, Trev?
Well, let me get a drink of my water. Okay. I got a dry throat today.
Yeah, take a sip, because, it's, what these Dodgers are doing.
Happy.
Mets bounce back. Brewers, I don't know.
Brew Crew.
I don't know.
We got life. Let's talk about it.
My people, we're live.
Here we go. My people, we will start in the City of Angels. That's what I was looking for. Los Angeles, the Giants come into town. The Dodgers take through 2 of 3. It goes 7-4 Giants. They win the opener. Heaney gives up a ton of homers, and Webb pitches all right. Then it goes 6-3 Dodgers and 7-3 Dodgers. Gallo and Muncy are doing the damn thing. Justin Turner is all world right now. He had a 3-run jack off Cobb to center. A golf swing. Trey Turner doing his thing. The Dodgers are so good. We're going to hear more about them later in the show because we just got to talk about them. Then we are going to Jake's former city, Denver, Colorado. The Brewers went into Denver and they lose 2-3. Rockies take 2 games from them. 6-4 Brewers in the first game. Then it was 10-7 Rockies in extras, and then 8-4 in the last game. Hauser settled down after a rough first inning in game 1. Caratini had the big homer. Yelly, 499. Are you kidding me? Then that fuck Randall Grichuk ties it, walks it off. It was all Rockies game 3. They take 2 of 3. Brew Crew should have won 2 of 3 there. Then the Brewers went home. Had Giants for a doubleheader, and they swept that one behind Burns. They win the Peralta game, even though he got placed on the IL. He came out in the 3rd inning. But because Burns was so strong in that first game, they had all the bullpen ready. So they sweep there. They get back in the race. Man, I'm rooting for the Brew Crew down the stretch. Giants, what is you doing, baby? They ain't looking too good there. Then we're moving on into Pittsburgh. The Mets went into Pittsburgh, and they took 2 of 3. 8-2 Pirates in game 1. Our guy Keller pitched really well there. Then it was 5-1 Mets, and then 10-0 Mets. Bassitt does his thing. Grom does his thing. Mets are looking good. They need to keep going because the Braves are hot on their tail. People. Philadelphia takes care of business against the Marlins. They take 2 of 3. 3-2 Phillies, 4-3 Phillies. The Marlins won game 3, 6-5. This one was all about Edmundo Sosa. I don't think I said his name right. I'll just say Sosa from now on. Big series at the plate. Played a bunch of defensive, had a bunch of really good defensive plays there. Even a base running play he was involved in. Phillies take 2 of 3. They're still the wild card 3. Half game back to the Padres, 2.5 up on the Brewers. They got to keep going. Speaking of the Padres, they take 2 of 3 from Jake's Snakes. 5-0 D-backs, then 6-5 Padres, 6-3 Padres. Ryan Nelson shines in his debut. He looked really, really good. There's a swagger to him. Snell looked good too, though. Musgrove gives up 3 homers when he pitches, and they're down. And then Merrill Kelly gives up 3 homers, and then the Padres come back, and then Alfaro has the hair going. They end up walking it off. They take 2 of 3. They got to go face the Dodgers, though. Keeping it going in St. Louis, the Nationals went into town. They split a 4-gamer, 6-0 Nationals. Cardinals won the bread games, 4-1, 6-5, and then the Nationals won 11-6 in the 4th game. There's some funny business. I want to talk about Davey Martinez a little bit here. Pretty good games, though. And then the last series, I believe, let me see. Yep, last series, Reds at Cubs. Reds take 2 of 3, 9-3 Cubs. And then it was 7-1 Reds, 4-3 Reds. We'll talk about that one when we get there. And that, my friends, is what happened in the National League. It's a lot. It's a lot for me to say all that stuff, guys.
Man, there's only one interleague, so the AL and NL were juicy, Trev. And in the National League, The New York Mets have a half-game lead on the Braves, 87-51 to 86-51. The Braves are half a game back on a 7-game win streak in Atlanta. Man, the NL East is just fantastic. The Phillies are 75-62, like you mentioned. They are in the wild card. The St. Louis Cardinals are 81-57, 8 games up on the Brewers. It's over.
Crazy.
Vince Carter slam dunk contest. It's over. Brewers.
That's crazy.
On the outside looking in currently. The Dodgers are 94-42, on pace for a $112. And the San Diego Fathers, 76-62. They are in your wild card. D-backs, watch out. Trevor, we are a Cron pod, and you are a Cron guy, if you don't mind me speaking. And it looks like Giants-Dodgers is first on the list.
We'll go through this one pretty quick. The Dodgers are all world. I'm going to talk about them a little bit more later. Like I said, Heaney got touched up a little bit in his start. He's been pitching really well, but he's just kind of leading balls up and over the plate. And, Giants have guys that can make you pay. They did. There's some interesting quotes by Webb there. I think the Giants are just basically saying they're playing free baseball. Like they just got to go out there and play loose and see what happens. I mean, they're just out of it. So it's tough. It's tough when you get to that time of the year. But the Giants win that one. And then I think some of the bigger talking points with this series would be Gallo's having fun doing his thing out there. He actually had to exit the game because he got hit by a pitch in the elbow. But Muncy's been turning it on. Justin Turner quietly has been one of the better hitters in baseball since June. They're a machine, man. And that's the only way to really describe them.
Yeah, so I got to watch the second game of the series because the Yanks actually got rained out, and I was like, all right, I'll flip to MLB Network and Giants Dodgers. Sure, I'll tune in. And yeah, it was the game Gallo homered, so there's some Yankee irony watching Gallo homer for his new team. But the topic for me that's kind of mind blowing, if it was like, hey, we're talking baseball, let's tell them who's the hot guy on the Dodgers right now. There's a lot of them. Like Muncy, like you said, you were betting on his OPS to end up in a nice place, and he's en route. Justin Turner, our guy, has basically been the second best hitter in baseball, I think, to Judge. Since the end of June. So Justin Turner, again, kind of a bonus piece. Got off to a slow start this year, and when you think of an older player, you're like, well, maybe. Well, no, he's still that dude. Some of the plays he makes at third are still absolutely gross. He's a sick puppy, man. And yeah, I mean, it's 112 games they're on pace for, which, you wonder what motivates teams, especially a team like this. I bet somewhere in that locker room, they've got the Giants 107 from last year up. And I think they want that. I don't think they necessarily care about 110 or 116, but I bet they'd like to tighten the screws a little bit and say, that was a great year, boys. And then we went out and we one-upped it the next.
I could see that. I think there's a couple of things that are really going on. They're just really good.
Really good.
And when you're that good, you show up to the field expecting to win every day. You kind of have to have that attitude, and they're doing it. Number two, I think that they like that they're really good, and they want to show people that they're really good. So I don't know if they will have 107 from the Giants there. I think they would love to set that mark of all time.
Okay.
I think they were going for that. And they got to get real hot, real fast, but if anybody can do it, it'd be the Dodgers. Yeah,
and by the way, we just talked Dodgers for a couple minutes. No mention of Mookie Betts. No mention of Freddie Freeman, Will Smith.
Freeman had a homer in the series.
It's insane. Yeah, the Giants had a funny vibe coming into that game, and it's kind of what you were talking about with the Webb quotes, where they won 4 in a row. The season's over unless straight up magic happens. And when you win 4 games in a row in baseball, you start getting a little romantic. but then they got Dodgered, so I think that was kind of the end of them thinking maybe we can run off 13 wins and get back into it, but that ain't happening.
It didn't happen. I think we also got to talk about Gonsolin. I guess his timetable's been pushed back a little bit, so that sucks for the Dodgers. It'd be really nice to have him, and we're always sending good vibes that way. I actually saw that Longoria sent him a bat and like a card and like customized it with some cat logos and stuff like that. So that was what we wish our boy Catterday all the best, man. Hopefully he comes back soon.
Haven't mentioned Trey Turner, his go-ahead RBI double in that last game. They're really good. And everyone, timelines are really funky this year because we got pushed back a week, and with the wild card games, I think the DS doesn't start till the 10th or the 11th.
I don't remember which one starts first. I know ALDS would start on the 11th. And
I think NL might be the night before. I forget.
I don't know if they're the night before or night after.
So I don't know. In a normal year, if someone's not coming back till the first week of October, you're like, okay, so they're out. But they kind of have a chance this year. It's something we've been doing way too much on Talkin' Yanks. But yeah, the timelines are a little funky this year.
They are. So Dodgers do it. I think it's funny, like 106 wins last year. We talked about like their win total this year, and I was like, there's just no way they're going to do that back-to-back years, and here they are going to eclipse that mark. And I don't know, man. We're witnessing greatness. We're going to hear more about it, okay?
I think I might have went under on them before the year, and
I did too.
Regretted instantly.
100%. That's a lot of wins. They were projected for, I think, 99, I think was their number. So I was like, they're not going to win 100 back-to-back, and sure as shit, they're going to.
And no, what else is nuts? If you had told us like their pitching injuries, I think we would have been like, okay, yeah, we'll take that to the bank. Doesn't matter.
100%. They're going to clinch like any day. I think their magic number's down to like 5 or something like that.
More than a month to go in the season. Trev, next on the list is Brewers-Rockies. Rockies take 2 out of 3, which, like you were mentioning, the Brewers could have easily had 2 out of 3. Which I think we almost might have led with the Brewers if they were a game and a half out of the wild card, but instead they're 2.5 out, luckily to a nice double header sweep against the Giants the next day. What's going on with your crew?
Cruz can be a little bit banged up right now. The Peralta thing scares me a little bit, but it could have been a really good series for them. You know, Hauser came out, had a really bad first inning, but then I think he retired like 13 in a row or something like that. But a good first game. Caratini hits the big homer in the 6th inning, like I said. So they get that game. That's nice. Then the second game was the trouble game for them. You know, they get a big lead out there. Mentioned Yelly's homer. He's feeling pretty good. I think that's good for the Brewers that he's feeling that way. But then Grichuk ties the game. Then he walks it off in extra innings. So, you know, that's one you'd like to have back. You don't want to give up leads like they gave up there. And then the last game was really it was all Rockies from the get-go. They scored a few runs at the end of the game, the Brewers did, to make the score look a little bit closer than it was, but they just kind of did the damn thing. Lauer goes 2 2/3, 7 earned runs. Homers, man. A lot of homers to be hit in Colorado.
Yeah, how about Yelly, 499? Oops.
Big one, a changeup off of Cool. He kind of just caught it out in front a little bit there, and the thing went up into the air. And even the broadcast was like, you don't see too many go up that way.
I'll suck on you a little bit. What's the furthest you think you've ever hit a baseball?
Man, Chris Rose asked me this, and I was like, I don't remember, but it was like 450 or 430 something. Or, I don't have a massive one. Although I feel like they probably, I don't trust StatCast with that.
Sure.
You see some of those homers and like that with 360. I'm like, no, it didn't. That went way further than that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know which one they would consider my furthest. Somebody like tweeted at me and told me, but I don't know what they'd consider it.
Man, I was looking at the Rocky stats real quick to see if there's anybody I really needed to give love to. Not really. I love my Rocks. Follow Kelsey Winger. And then, I guess, the Brewers go on and they play a doubleheader, and it's probably why we're speaking about them in a better light, Corbin Burns goes full Corbin Burns. I'll quote Gabe Kapler. Gabe Kapler said he tapped into his Joe's McFly. Sometimes being simple works, people. He said, that's Corbin Burns. And it was. And he mowed them down. And then they get some bad news the next day with Peralta. So I don't know. Brewers, you hope you're not kicking yourselves over that second game against the Rockies, which this time of year you do. But man, the division's full blown gone, and their only hope is the wild card.
Yes, their division is 100% gone, and they needed that Burns outing because in the second game, Peralta comes out like in the beginning of the third, so they have to go bullpen the rest of the way. That's what you need in your pitcher. That's great by him. The Giants put up a good series here. They kind of went bullpen first game. Yelich and Renfroe have the RBI doubles in the fourth. In the second game, Longoria makes an error in the beginning of the game, couple runs score. Brewers never look back. So good sweep for them. Keeps them in the race. Keeps my prediction alive. They're walking a fine line there out in Milwaukee, aren't they? Like they're teetering on the cusp of either just going one way or taking off, and I'm hoping they're going to take off.
Yeah, right. It's the scary part of baseball where I think we'll talk about the Orioles later. How it's almost slipped away from the Orioles. You can go from 2.5 back to 4.5 back really quick. And
one series right now, Jake, can change everything.
Right. And hopefully
one bad series, you're out.
Hopefully it's the positive thing. Hopefully they get hot while the teams ahead of them come back to earth. But yeah, you are, if the Phillies have a sweep and you get swept, like that can close the book. So yeah, it's got to be nervous times. But on the other side of things, if you can flip that script the right way, this is my crew. You want to do Mets Rats?
We don't have to talk about too much about that. Mets took care of business. That's a good thing for them. Like I said, they're trying to keep the Braves at bay. They need to win that. They need to win that division, dude. They really do. So they can line up that pitching, get it all set. Bassitt, we'll talk about him in a little bit. He had a really strong start. Buck had some quotes on him saying he's just been consistent really all year. I like this term he used, Jake. He just posted up for us at every turn. Yeah. When you post it up,
yeah,
I like that. I love that Buck has that in his repertoire right there. And then Bassitt, I think the context of this must have been like, hey, like, do you feel added pressure now that Max is out to step up? And he was like, I don't care if Max is 100% healthy. I still want to do what I did today. Still want to go 9 innings every time I'm out there. And then he has some more stuff to talk about the fans and everyone going crazy as they're skidding. But he said both him and Escobar had quotes saying, we're good in here, man. Like, we're ready for September. Like, we're not worried about that. And that's the mindset that you'd expect a ball club like the Mets to have. But yeah, Bassitt, great job. DeGrom, great job. Walker kind of got touched up a little bit. I guess we can talk about O'Neal Cruz. He went deep into the river, baby.
Into the Allegheny. He's got a great quote about it. He said it's about time. And then he kind of went showman on it, which I do love, man. Like, I think there was a little bit more of a crowd in Pittsburgh because the Mets were in town and some Mets fans can get over there. And I think, if you're a young guy, you're in the show, your team it might not be there this year. If you're feeling that, like, I want to put on a show tonight, if you're O'Neal Cruz, that turns into awesome content. Sometimes if you're Jake Storiale, that turns into a blooper reel. But for O'Neal Cruz, just like out ahead on a ball, kind of got beat and just flicks it into the river. He's awesome.
His StatCast stuff is disgusting.
It's gross. We've never seen it. And he's doing it as a 6'7" shortstop. So that's got to be cool to watch day in, day out as a Pirates fan. I wonder what that roster looks like next year. I wonder if they can get us excited at all with him, Brian Reynolds. I don't know. They'd have to add.
Are you excited this year because They have all those guys.
Yeah, that's a great point, Trev. That was a great counterpoint. Yeah, and dude, you nailed it with Bassitt. 26 starts, a 3.24 this year. Guy was top 10 Cy Young voting the past 2 years. He's just his two older brothers right now make you talk about them. And good for him posting up for the Mets and getting them out of that little skid against the Nats and the Pirates while the Braves just won't stop coming, man.
Posting up is so good. It's like you're showing up to work, baby.
Yeah.
And I think there's so much importance to that, like showing up, doing your job. And that is the kind of Bassitt is. And there's a lot of guys like that in the big leagues. They're just solid professionals that are routine oriented, kind of the same mentality every single day. You need that in the clubhouse. You need a lot of different things, a lot of different ingredients for a good clubhouse. And Bassitt is definitely a major one for that New York Mets clubhouse.
Bassitt's the post up, hold your spot at the bar. Like, let's meet up here. Eddie Escobar's the like, I'll be on the dance floor if you need me.
2 more quick things. Mets, I know we're a schedule pod, apparently have the easiest schedule remaining in all of baseball.
Really?
Okay, so go do your thing. And then the Marte thing is kind of crazy. He gets hit in the hand, breaks his middle finger, I believe. Yeah, right middle finger. So top hand. He's going to try to play through it. And I got my bat out, bro.
Here we go.
Like, having that up, you can't grip the bat like that. Like, you're not going to have any power there. Like, the only one I think you can get away with is like maybe like your bottom index or maybe like a pinky. The right middle trying to play through that is kind of, I mean, look, good on him, I guess.
Maybe he feels like he's flicking off the pitcher, you know? Some of that batter pitcher warfare.
I don't know what he's got to do, man. I don't know. I don't get it.
Best of luck to Marte. Trev, your Phils and the Marlins looked like they played some good games, all one-run games. What am I missing? I see some Segura quotes.
Yeah, he had to walk off in game 1. Yeah, it was a good series. The first matchup was pretty cool. It's Jesus Luzardo, and then against Nola, they both pitched well. Really low. Interesting quotes here because Rob Thompson's talking about Edmundo Sosa and like he had a plan to play him one night, then sit him the next night, but he kind of like earned the next day. The first game, home run in the first. He had some good defensive plays, like he's picking the ball for JT, throwing runners out. He had a pick play. He had a jump up and tag play, like on the guy's head. Like he was kind of all over the place. And when managers see that, they're like, shit, like, let's run him back out there. So they did that for game 2 as well. He hits another homer, and then I guess he had a tag in the first game and a tag in the second game as well, like just showing up defensively. And this is kind of like a minor trade for them. It was Jojo Romero to the Cardinals for Sosa, and I mean, it's pretty cool for him to show up like that. Yeah, then Segura ends up walking it off in game 1. He has the high bat flip that everyone was talking about. It was very high. I'd like to see the StatCast metrics on that. He has funny quotes. I'm sure you want to read them.
I love Gene. We talk about the Gene section at Philly games. BBD, Phillies infield legend, Gene Segura.
I'll read it because you don't have it in front of you. He said, how high was it? Did you guys see it? It went high. Maybe I'm the first player ever to throw the bat up that high.
Sorry, I was throwing a little sprinkles on it for the people, Trev. I love it. Man, Phillies baseball. And yeah, dude, Trev, it's one of my biggest like old man takes. And I think it'll be right in a few years is you can plan everything out. Plans are good. I'm not the biggest planner. I don't like a calendar. I get I'm kind of on like the other side of this. Plans are good for a lot of things, but be able to adjust. Like that's a lot of these teams are missing that you'll see. I said Joey Gallo, he was slumping to start the year. He had a big home run for the Yanks. The next day they sat him. And Joey Gallo, I don't know if he's ever had that happen before. Like, dude who's been a stud his whole life hits a big home run in the game, and then he's on the bench the next day. And it wasn't like a tough lefty or anything like that. It was just like a scheduled off day. And it's man, reward the guys who are playing well. So if Sosa played well and you need more guys playing well, then put them back in the lineup. It's one of the easiest misses that teams are still overthinking right now. And I do think it's going to change as we keep going because it's so easy. Play well, get more playing time. Done.
Yeah, just to put the close to this series, tough. Phillies could have won all three. Tough end of the game for them in that last one. Bohm, I think he had a double to center field, kind of an odd play there, but it gets past them. Phillies go ahead, and then at the end, Hoskins makes an error, and then Anderson gets a hit, but just kind of like pushes a little ground ball over to the right side off of Robertson. So that puts the Marlins ahead. So the Phillies end up losing that one, but they could have swept.
Could have swept.
They needed every single game.
A team that could not have swept because they lost the first game, but they lost the next two. The Padres versus my Snakes, NL West rivals. Padres take 2 out of 3. I'm seeing some family connections and stuff. What did I miss here, Trev?
Ryan Nelson made his debut. Really good debut. What was his final line? It was 7 shutty, 7 Ks, no walks. There's some crazy stats there. He's like one of the first pitchers in AL, NL history to do that. 7+ Ks, no walks, and 7 innings shutout ball. So that's nice. He had a ton of family there. There's some fun notes on that. I guess Carson Kelly, his catcher's brother, went to school with Nelson, so he was telling him what to expect, and he's basically saying like, this guy's a machine, the moment doesn't affect him. And sure as shit, he goes out there on his major league debut against the Padres in San Diego and does it. Damn. So it's cool to see that. Snell looked good too. 6 innings pitched, 1 earned run. Stone Garrett hits a homer. Walker and Thomas, 2 RBIs each. So, the Diamondbacks just kind of took game 1. And then game 2, I told you, was Musgrove early, gives up 3 homers. The Snakes are up 5-0 in the 5th. And then Merrill Kelly, who's been nasty, he gives up 3 homers. All of a sudden, we're tied. And then Alfaro in the last inning, base hit back up the box. His 4th walk-off of the year, dude.
Yeah. Padres record, I believe it says. That's pretty crazy. Jorge Alfaro. That's clutch. Your guy Snell, last 9 starts, a 2.22 ERA.
Yeah, he's been looking really good, man.
And he's punching tickets, 49 innings pitched, 68 strikeouts in that span. A lot of people were writing him off when his ERA was in the 5s in July, but he isn't that baseball. It seems to find a way usually. Some of the names my Snakes are running out there. Stone Garrett, you mentioned him. I mean, that's unreal. Corbin Carroll with his first career home run. You might want to write that one down. And yeah, man, if they keep calling up kids like Ryan Nelson, like, you're going to have me saying some legit funny business stuff about the Snakes this offseason because they got kids playing. But Padres just better, and Brandon Drury going off.
I was going to say about Corbin Carroll, him versus Yu Darvish is like a matchup I could watch a million times. That's a fun matchup there. Really like that. And Yu Darvish, we had to talk about him on Baseball Today, and Chris asked me if he has lived up to the hype, and I said no, but then I'm going back and rethinking that. I don't know, man. He was so hyped. My answer was he was so hyped that I don't think he did, but that's our fault. He's had an excellent career. He's one of the best Japanese pitchers to ever come over here. So that's got to mean something. He's been doing it for 10 years. But I love you, and I know everyone that's played for him or with him has also loved him. So shout out Yu Darvish, man.
Gonna clip that. I love you.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got big internet presence. I mean, one of my favorite pitchers to watch pitch. I'm trying to see, like, where does he technically rank as, like, pitchers that have come
I think his career WAR is higher than any other Japanese pitcher that's come over. We had to look that up.
Wow, Hideo Nomo.
That means something.
Hideo Nomo, Tanaka, Kuroda. Yeah, man, that's awesome.
Kind of significantly more than anybody, at least by B-WAR.
Like that. All right. Cardinals, Nats, split in 4.
We can go through this one quickly. Jack makes his debut. He looks good. His final line is 5 innings pitched, 1 earned run. But my guy Meneses and Louis Garcia, RBI singles. They score 4 in the 6th. Nats take that game. And then game 2, Quintana goes 5 innings pitched, 1 earned run. The Cardinals take the lead with 3 in the 4th. Donovan solo homer, and then Gorman RBI double. There's some cool stuff on there. Brendan Donovan, great teammate, has been sending Gorman some motivational videos to get him like out of the slump. And I used to do that too. Me and Justin Morneau would just send each other videos of us, like taster reels, we'd call them. And that's sometimes you need to have that, dude. You need to have a teammate that just, because it can be lonely when you're slumping. And when you have a teammate in there helping you do it, it just makes it a little bit easier to get out of it. I think that's a really cool thing. 2 young guys taking care of each other. Montgomery, 6 2/3, 1 earned run in game 3. The Nats did take the lead with 4 in the 8th there. And then that was when the Cardinals had 5. They scored 5 runs in the 9th. Great at bats. Tommy Edman takes the first pitch fastball, lines it over the left fielder's head. Molina had a great at bat in that inning. Just a great win for the Cardinals there. They have a stranglehold on the division, but you don't want to lose 3 out of 4 to the Nationals. Okay, so great win there. And then in the last game, they lose. Wainwright goes 5 innings pitched, 4 earned runs. He and Yachty now tied for the record for most starts as a battery. So the next one will break that, which is really cool.
Love that. The Cardinals, since in the second half, they are 31-13. Have yourself a post All-Star break. They added a couple pitchers, including Jordan Montgomery from the Yanks, who's been really good for them. He was just on CC Sabathia's podcast, and if you're a pitching nerd, he upped his 4-seam fastball. He used to throw it 6% of the time. Now he's throwing it 31% or something like that. So pretty cool stuff. And CC and Ruocco have always been awesome to us. So go check them out to get that. Anything else there, or Reds? Ooh, Reds Cubs.
Reds Cubs. We're just gonna kind of read the notes here. It was Reds take 2 of 3, 9-3 Cubs, like I said, and then the Reds win the next 2 games. I don't know. This is already a long NL recap. I love you guys. I think we just move on to the AL.
Congrats to Hayden Wesneski, who made his MLB debut.
Love you, Happer.
Love you and Hap. Jonathan India, hot. Let's do the American League.
You're up, baby.
Oh. I might even just kiss the IL series at the end. Fuck it.
Just kiss it.
That's who I am. We are heading to Tampa. Trevor Plouffe and Evan Longoria's Rays against the Boston Red Sox. And the Rays busted out the broomstick. How about Shags getting the opener start because Drew Rasmussen... wife gave birth. Congrats, Drew Rasmussen. And another fun one in this, Yanni Chirinos, one of my favorite names to say in baseball, comes back after missing about 2 years due to injuries. Manny Margot with the game-tying RBI double, and then the freight train David Peralta with the go-ahead. And by the way, he loses his voice just from screaming and cheering on the boys. I absolutely love it. Arozarena continues to go. In that final game, Taylor Walls with the go-ahead RBI single. I think I'm going to start giving him the nickname the backbreaker, because if Taylor Walls gets one off of you, it just breaks your damn back, man. Rays sweep. They are still coming. And Wander Franco comes back for a big series in the Bronx. Buckle up this weekend. Speaking of the Bronx, Trevor Plouffe's Twins versus my Yankees. The Yankees take 3 out of 4. I'm going to read you some of these lineups later. No. You will not believe it. Doubleheader day. Game went to 12 innings. Me and Jimmy were in the stands. That game was wild. Yankees took the first 3. They almost had the last one, but the bad man Correa, whoo doggy, he hits a big homer to win that game in the 8th inning. Man, the Twins are the Yankees' best medicine, or is there now a curse of Joe's McFly? We'll talk about that. Astros take 2 out of 3 from the Rangers, and that's obvious. They go UPS in the first game. What can Brown do for you? The kid shuts out Texas. They win 1-0. They end up taking the bread games in this series. Maldonado with some nice stuff. There was some wine exchange between the managers. You got to love that. Altuve, Bregman, we'll talk about that. White Sox take 2 out of 3 in Seattle. The White Sox are hitting. Elvis Andrus, he loves Seattle. Apparently he rakes out there. Quote from Miguel Cairo, the acting manager: "This team is good." Love it, Miguel.
Yes.
Thank you for the inside. The last week, the White Sox have been hitting. Our guy Jay Kuda with a bunch of stats in there. I love it. I love it. What does it mean? We'll find out. White Sox win a series against a good team. Guardians take 2 out of 3 against the Royals. They win the first 2, but they can't stop Greinke. 6 innings, 1 earned run on that final game. Little walk-off sac fly from Salvi. We love that. But Guardians take care of their business. They win 2 out of 3. Bieber with the big start in the middle there. Blue Jays take 3 out of 4 against the Orioles. This is what we're kind of talking about with the Brewers. Blue Jays handle their work. Bichette, you're going to hear about him a lot this episode. Boy, he's been hitting. Gossman returns to Camden Yards. Not a lot of people were talking about that. Barrios, your guy, does his thing. And Alek Manoah, 8 innings, 1 earned run. You got to be kidding me. Angels, 2 out of 3 versus the Tigers. Ohtani and Trout both have 30 homers. They're sick pups. Angels took the first 2. Tigers, they salvaged the last one. Eric Haas, how's your 5-hit day, kid? Kerry Carpenter and Ryan Kreidler? What? That's what happened in the American League. Oh, I forgot I was doing the IL. Brave sweep. 2 games against the Athletics.
Tickle it.
Strider. Oh, play with the balls. Game was 9-9 through the first 5 innings, and then Young Thick with the sac fly in the 6th. No scoring after that. Good job, bullpen. Strider drops it. Dansby with the go-ahead homer. That's the AL. That's the IL. Let's talk about it. Golly.
You're something else, Coach. You're something else.
Just put me in the game, Coach. Yankees have a 4.5 game lead in the American League East. 4.5, and the Rays are coming to town. Holy!
They got a Jake Storiale Pecker lead right now.
Holy crap! Yeah, that's on. Thank you, Roman. The Jays are 6 games back of the Yankees, the BBD lead, as we call that. Orioles, nervous times. Guardians, they have the AL mid, but boy, Twins are a 1.5 back. The White Sox are a 1.5 back. It's coming down the stretch. I've got a few fun backs. I kind of want to, fun facts I want to ask Trev about in the AL Central. Houston, 88-49, dominant. The Mariners are 77-60. So your wild card, it might be done, people. The Orioles are 4.5 out of the Blue Jays.
That. Don't.
I said might. I mean, the AL mid teams are 7 games back. So your AL playoffs, or at least your wild card, could be set. We will see. Still some baseball to be played. A little less than a month. Trevor, I will cron pod with you because that's the way to be. And it starts with your Rays, who probably deserve a little more credit chopping into the Yankees division lead. And they sweep another series. I loved Peralta lost his voice yelling. That's fantastic. Even when they have to scramble, Drew Rasmussen scratched, been one of their best pitchers all year. Guess what? They've got the bullpen day to put it together. Yanni Chirinos comes back 19-5 in their last 24. That's no joke, man. That's no joke. And Wander Franco comes back tonight. Woo!
That's huge for them. Absolutely huge for him that he comes back. You get Rasmussen back to go against the Yankees. I think that's awesome. I mean, this is a pretty good series. Red Sox, Rays. That Rays had to come back in this one, down 3-1 at one point. Then you have a Rosarena with the homer. Then Margot with the game-tying double before Peralta, your guy, dude.
Yeah.
You've been on Peralta's train for a long time. He hits the go-ahead RBI double, like you said. I am looking forward to the Rays really making this a real race. I think. And when do you think it becomes a real race? Do you think that's like 3 games? Because that's just a series sweep away. Like 4.5 still seems like the Yankees have a decent lead. I know people, it was whatever the hell it was, 15 or something at one point. So I know this seems small, but still a sweep and the Yankees are ahead. I know they don't want that, but do you think it's already become that real race now? I guess I answer my own question. Yes, it has.
So this weekend's pretty big. If the Rays win 2 out of 3 in the stadium, it becomes a 3.5 game lead. Which, do they play anymore, BBD? Do you know?
I believe this is the last time they face each other.
This is the last time they face each other, yeah.
So it goes without saying how important this weekend is, because the Rays are going to be coming for blood. They are hot, 19-4. The Yankees have been one of the worst teams in baseball. I'm going to read off a Yankees lineup in a minute that'll shock people. I mean, you can't get swept if you're the Yankees, because then it's game on. It's just a sprint to the finish line. 2 out of 3, it's 3.5. That's wiggle room to play with about that many weeks left in the season. If you win the series, you can almost end it. So that's where you hope the Yankees are emptying the tanks this weekend. Their pitching is back, which is good news for the Yankees. The lineup will blow people's minds, but you got teams heading in opposite directions, man.
Yeah, the Rays opened it up in game 2, hit a bunch of homers, and they kind of do what they do, those 1-0 games. You have Springs going 3 shutty, with Chirinos going 3 shutty, and Pivetta pitches good, but you end up winning the game because the backbreaker comes and does his damn thing. I mean, these are the victories that they're so big, those 1-0 victories like that. So I'm excited for this Rays team. I think we've gone all season and really haven't, dove in deep on them because, they change a lot. And it's hard to have a finger on the pulse of the Rays. But I believe now September in the Rays, big series here in the Bronx, get to know some of these guys. Some good ball players on this team. Randy Rosarena is going to do it again, dude.
He's
going to make you call in the best ever many times as we go later into the season.
900 OPS since the All-Star break. It looks like Brandon Lau just came back. It looks like Wander Franco is coming back. Yandy's had an awesome years for them. Harold Ramirez when he's been healthy. Margot just makes stuff happen. Walls has been the best defensive shortstop in baseball, just replacing Wander. And Trev, these guys, and we joke about it. Obviously, the pitching is always great with this team. It's where it starts with the Rays. They're 3rd in starting pitcher ERA. They're 8th in bullpen ERA. But, man, it's also that high T. Sometimes we joke about it, but the way you've told me that the Rays locker room is and how these guys think, these guys are fueled by coming to Yankee Stadium this weekend and hearing the silence from the crowd. It's what they feed off of. So, yeah, man, they are the Sharks, and they're coming to the Bronx, and there is so much blood in the water that it's like, where are they going to take their bites out of? I'm scared.
They're the opposite of the Twins. They don't give a fuck about playing the Yankees. My Twins, on the other hand.
That's perfect.
Segueing into that series.
That's perfect, Trev.
It was a tough one. Although I guess we can, mention what Joe's McFly did, but I guess we'll go through the first 3 games before that.
Yeah, so I'll Judge hits 54 in the first game, and it's like, oh my God, how are people still pitching this guy? Tyone and Archer have matching starts. Gary Sanchez hits the longest non-Coors Field home run this year. That must have felt pretty good coming back to the stadium. I guarantee it did. Yankees get the win. And it's like, okay, Judge homers, Yankees get the win. Maybe the Twins are the Yankees' best medicine. Rain out, doubleheader. Jimmy, a little bit fueled out of maybe negative energy from the Yankees lineup. And we hadn't been to a Yankees game in so long. We said, let's go. We can go. We'll move some meetings. We're going. 12 innings later, and both of our significant others pretty not happy with us. The Yankees find a way to win. IKF ties it up. Oswaldo Cabrera with a game winner. The kid who's playing fantastic defense. Unreal what he's doing all over the field. IKF moves to third base for the first time. That's significant for this Yankees season, potentially. We will see. As Oswald Peraza. Yes, the Yankees have Oswaldo Cabrera and Oswald Peraza, two kids getting run. Oswald Peraza doing good things at shortstop. They win the second game of the doubleheader. Cole drops the hammer on him. 14 punchies. Let's go.
Who hit the grand slam?
IKF hits the grand slam. Third baseman IKF. And then they come out in the final game. Nestor comes back. That's exciting. They bring in one of their AAA relievers to come get Correa, and that was a mistake, it looks like. Correa clips him. And so, hey, Twins salvage it. They needed a win. They needed to scratch this Yankees itch so bad. Happy for them. Yeah, Trev, let me I'll read yesterday's lineup because there's a doubleheader, and sometimes teams get funky on a doubleheader. That's fine. This was Yankees the next day lineup. Aaron Hicks leading off. He has a .298 slugging this year. Aaron Judge having a historic all-time baseball season. Cool. Gleyber Torres has been a wreck since the trade deadline. He's batting third. IKF batting cleanup. My guy, my king.
The guy that everyone wanted to release.
Not release, but used
send
differently.
Down, whatever.
Used differently. Marwin Gonzalez didn't have a hit off of a MLB pitcher for about 2 months. He's hitting 5-hole, playing first base. Andujar, a guy the team has like disowned, hitting 6th. Florial, 7. Higashioka, 8. And Peraza, 9. So this Yankees team that was DJ, Judge, Rizzo, Stanton, Donaldson, very different vibes, but they get wins against the Twins, which is so important, especially if the Rays were in takeover distance this weekend. Oh boy, would the vibes be completely different.
It would be. I talked about that a little bit on Baseball Today, like how is Kevin Cash going to approach Judge, because like just walk him. Like I don't even know what else there's to fucking say, dude. Just walk the dude. You just read off the lineups. They got Gleyber Torres, who did he have the big homer after they
game one of the
Varland
doubleheader?
So Varland comes and first at bat strikes Judge out. I want to talk a little about Louis V, our guy. The Twins need some love too. Okay. Yeah. He's out of Minneapolis. He strikes Judge out first at bat, even though I warned him that he should walk Judge.
Yeah.
Strikes his ass out. Then the second at bat, Judge is like, "You're sorry, kid. Like I'm on a historic home run pace, so I'm gonna pump you." And he did. Yeah. And then it was the third time around. Rocco pulls him and brings in Griffin Jacks. And I think they had a walking Judge, and then Torres hits the homer. A lot of people were saying we should have went to a different reliever there, whether it's Lopez or Duran, but then you're like, who are you going to have to face him the next time around? So, I mean, that's Judge for you. He's making you make those decisions early on in the game, but I just think that you'd be a fool to pitch the Judge anymore. And I'm not saying I want everyone to pitch around him because that sucks for fans, but like you'd be a fool not to, right?
I'm super interested, like you said, with the Rays, because the Rays being that high T team, are they saying, I'm going to put you in a good spot to get this guy and, go do your thing?
They will. What they'll do, Jake, is if there's a guy who they're like, we think Judge's strikeout percentage in this at bat against you is high.
Right.
They'll pitch to him. Most guys, they'll just say, no, why would we do that?
Yeah. And
shout out Louis V. I want to,
yeah, man.
He looked good to him. Judge had some good quotes about him. Although I think he called him the rookie, which, hey, Judge, fucking,
Come on.
Louis V. It's an easy name to remember.
Yeah.
Come on. I liked him. Glenn Perkins was talking to me about him when I was in Minnesota for Guardy's thing. He's saying, this guy just pitches a little bit differently. He got a kind of a funky arm angle. He's had a good showing this year. Then you watch him, you kind of understand what he's talking about. He starts in like the middle of the rubber. He takes a big step over to the first baseline and then throws across his body. So it's kind of like a weird angle that everything is coming in at. So I don't know. I don't know if he's their savior, but he looks good, man. It's always nice to have another starting pitcher that you can possibly rely on. So shout out. Is it King Louis or is it Louis V? I don't know, man.
I'm not sure. His family was in the stands. And again, this was a rain out day game doubleheader. So the stands were pretty empty, but his whole family section was there. So every time he struck someone out, you heard Lou, which was also ironic because it kind of sounded like boo. So anytime a Yankee player struck out, you heard Lou/boo. A lot of different stuff going on, man. Boy, you got me interested in this series this weekend. Go check
Look at this jersey I got on, bro.
What is that? I asked you a couple times before the show, and you didn't.
It's like a 70s throwback uni, but obviously the Rays haven't been around, so they made this up. Which, like the Rays, is just what?
Yeah.
It had matching pants, bro. Like it was a weird time.
I like that a lot. Go check out Talkin' Yanks if you want some more Yanks. Trev, I'm gonna skip Houston. We will come back to them. They took care of the Rangers. But we mentioned the Twins, and there's a ripple effect that comes with that in the AL Central. And there's an article on ESPN right now that I think it was Jesse Rogers, who does a lot of good stuff over there, who did an article, Who Will Win the AL Central. The White Sox take 2 out of 3 from the Mariners up in Seattle. And again, like coming in the season, that wouldn't have seemed surprising. But Elvis Andrus hits a lot. The whole team hits a lot. Which, again, they've really struggled offensively this whole year. It's been kind of a recurring theme of this team. And they've hit the past week. So when you get Lance Lynn's 7 innings, only 1 earned run start, it matters. And yeah, they survive Cal Raleigh, big dumper, our guy, all JM team in that second game. 23rd of the year. Shout out, Cal Raleigh. But White Sox win a series. And whichever AL Central team, I'll go full Boog McFarland in the Boogermobile. Whichever AL Central team wins the most series the rest of the way will win the AL Central. That's what I've got, Trev.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, the White Sox have been going off lately. I thought it's funny. I think it's funny that like Andrews is the guy that's going to give them juice in game 1. I guess he's been hitting really well in Seattle this year, which is kind of funny. Go ahead, 2-run homer in the 3rd. That's all they needed. Man, I don't know. I've been in on the White Sox this whole year. They've kind of let me down a little bit, but now you're giving me a stretch like this where our guy Jay Kuda's putting out these stats. White Sox league rank last 7 days. Hits, runs, doubles, homers, total bases, RBI, batting average, slugging, and OPS. They're all first in the AL. So you need that. They need a run like that, Jake.
Yeah.
And we've been kind of waiting on that to come from them. I don't know if it's specifically the guys that we thought were going to do it. But it doesn't matter who does it as long as the team goes, and they have a real chance here, to make it seem like none of the season and all that, treading water and not living up to expectations, that won't matter if they go out and do it in September and take the division and get into the playoffs. No one will give a shit how they got there. It's that you're there now and you got some boys that can do it. We talk about the roster. We talk about the rotation. Now, not everyone can just fucking flip it on in the playoffs, but it happens, dude. This is a welcome run from the White Sox here.
I can't get the image out of my head of, all right, what's going on, guys? It's Talking Baseball. We're recapping last night's first games of the wild card, the White Sox, Dylan Cease, he struck out 15 guys. The White Sox won a 2-1 game, and Lance Lynn's taking the mound tomorrow. Like, that's why this team is horrifying. So, who knows if they'll make it? They're still a game and a half out behind the Guardians. And so, this article, Trev, they polled 14 executives, which, again, that can mean so many different things. 14 executives and scouts. How do you think the votes went for who will win the AL mid?
14.
14. So your total number between these three teams has to add up to 14.
I don't even know what you're talking about right now. I'm totally lost on what you're saying right now. Just give me the stat, bro.
Guardians, 7 executives thought them, 5 the White Sox, 2 the Twins.
Oh, come on, Twins. Fuck. Yeah, I mean, look, nobody knows shit. You know, we can come on here and try to predict things and do that. Obviously, I'm the greatest predictor to ever predict.
Yeah.
But in the end, man, like, let's just all enjoy this last month because there aren't a ton of huge playoff races as of now, but this is going to be a fun one, dude. Like, and we got a big series this weekend between the Twins and the Guardians. Chicago's out there in Oakland. They fucking won 14-2 yesterday. They're about to beat up on those A's. Yeah. I don't say that about every team because baseball is baseball, but you better go take 3 or 4 at least from the A's right now. At least. And the way they're hitting and the way they're going about their business, they could sweep, man. And all of a sudden, White Sox on top of the division. And I keep saying, man, it won't matter in the end how they got there as long as they're there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And fucking please, Zach, stop punching stuff, dude.
Yeah, I mean, that's, go check out the article, but it gives good, like, how many home and away games they have left, remaining opponents' strength of schedule, and, it's got little why they'll make it while they'll come up short. And Guardians, they said, Plesac and Savali going down late in the year. They're going to feel that. So, and it's the White Sox blurb, not to give too much away, why they'll come up short, and it's like, have you seen the White Sox this year?
Exactly. That's what everyone says. Watch them play. How could you be high on them? Like, I know.
Uninspired.
So yeah, Guardians. This is moving on to a different series, but I want to make the point.
Yeah.
Guardians, Twins. Guardians losing some of their starters. The Twins catch all the guys that they have healthy, which is kind of tough. They get Quantrill, they get McKenzie, and they get Bieber. So Twins got their work cut out for them this weekend. Let's go Twinkies. I'd like to see them make it interesting.
Big series this weekend. Like you said, the Guardians just took 2 out of 3. And, man, I feel like I've done this the past few episodes, but it's Shane Bieber's, like, back, right?
He's a guy right now.
I mean, he is now putting together a stretch. His last 8 starts, a 1.79 ERA. That's big. Because he was being all right. Before that, he had a 3.55 ERA. Like, he wasn't, he was being good. But when you're being that level good for, a month and a half, that changes how your whole ball team plays and operates. They take care of their business. Again, Royals are, one of those teams in the bad place right now. But, you keep seeing Oscar Gonzalez's name pop up. He had the go-ahead 2-run double in the 10th. They take care of their business. That's what I got.
Are we gonna talk about Breggy? Because I mean, it's kind of, we skipped over the Astros a little bit.
How about this, Trev? I will kick it to you. Astros take 2 out of 3. The kid Brown shoves in the first game.
Yes, nasty, dude.
Nasty. I mean, they're throwing around young Verlander. Like, the players are saying that, not fans on Twitter. Like, dude, this guy looks like, no. He's got a 4-seamer that rides, and he's got like a 94 mile per hour cut slider that Eno Saris was like, what do you do with this? So he probably deserves a little bit of love. They win the last game on a wild pitch with the bases loaded. Altuve scores, which was the topic of conversation with us / you and our friend Alex Bregman.
It wasn't really a discussion at first. We do our all JM team, and we don't do it to be controversial, but we understand it will be controversial when we put the graphic out. But we want to have an award system of our own, and you can only pick one. And that's when people get mad because, oh, what about my guy? What about my guy? And for instance, Nate Lowe having an excellent season,
Yes.
been absolutely crushing the ball. Texas Ranger fans not happy with us. They wouldn't even really mention him. They were talking about Abreu and Vladdy. That's the nature of the business. Cal Raleigh, big dumper. We're talking about Adley Rushman. We understand Cal's having a great year. He's crushing the ball. He's been getting better defensively. Mariners fans can't shut up about this guy, and for good reason. He's a stud. We got to just pick one, people. So we ended up picking Andres Gimenez to represent our team for the AL second base award. And Bregman wasn't happy with that.
No.
He put out under a Talking Baseball tweet, y'all weren't watching the game, which he ended up deleting because I explained to him the reasoning that we picked Gimenez. And, the offensive stats, again, this was through August. Altuve's had some games in September to really go off, and his OPS is incredible right now, and he's great. And we just ended up siding with Gimenez because of a defensive advantage that we think was too hard to ignore. He's been playing really excellent defense. It's grading out great this year. And so I just told him that. I said, hey, look, man, Breggy, we're watching. We gave the award to Altuve May, June, and July. We thought through August, we're going to give it to Andres. It was a tough call, but the defensive numbers were too hard to ignore. He ended up coming back and saying, you're right. I didn't know he was playing that kind of defense. He's riding for his guy. We ended up having a good conversation offline about it. And I think it was cool, man. I like that people are challenging us and coming at us, because that means that we got eyeballs on us and people care about what we say. If we were some dog and pony show, no one would care what we say, but I get it. And I want the criticism. I'm okay with it. If we suck at something, please tell us. But I thought that one ended well. We had a nice discussion online. Then, we started texting afterwards, and, it was a tough call. But Andres Gimenez took it for us.
It was tight. And, man, where it landed from where it started was better than I could have dreamed possible. Some of your exchanges with Bregman were awesome. A lot of people remember I was in his preseason hype video.
Yeah.
So he's a Talkin' Baseball fan. He's a Talkin' Baseball guy. And, he's going to go to war for his guys. That's why we love teammates. That's why we love our teams. And those players you mentioned, Nate Lowe, big dumper. That's why we get hot about them. But guess what? There's other dudes around the league that are nasty. And let's be honest, Altuve and Gimenez were in lockstep. It could have went either way. And for Bregman to be real and come back and be like, wow, I did not realize how good that kid is defensively. That was awesome.
But he's riding for Altuve because, that's his boy. And look, I told him, and I've said this many times, Altuve wears the brunt of that scandal. Him, Bregman, and Correa get the brunt of it. But everyone you talk to that was actually on the team, they admit, yeah, that wasn't right of us to do. But they always will say, Jose didn't want any part of it. Now, he was still a veteran on that team, and he could have shut it down. He didn't do it. So for that, you got to give him a little shit there. But, he didn't use, according to, the tracking of the bangs and to everybody that was on the team, he didn't use it. So I've been banging that drum, if you will, on Altuve for quite some time. But I'm down, man. You want to ride for your guys, ride for your guys. That's what sports is all about, dude. That's what fandom is all about. If you want to tell me that so-and-so is better than someone, tell me.
Yeah.
I love it. We always say, you know your team better than we know your team. I know baseball more than you, but you know the Yankees more than me.
Go look at Altuve's stat page sometimes, people.
He's a stud.
It's ridiculous. Those boxes that pop up: Silver Slugger, Gold Glove, 8-time All-Star, 3-time batting title. the guy was involved in a bad thing and
Yes.
seemingly like a lesser level than some other people. There's still some blood on those hands, but the guy's incredible. He's got a 902 OPS. He's unreal. They take care of their business. Martin Perez with another nice start, finishing his year. Valdez 6.22 earned 4 runs. So I don't know. Does he get the quality start there? How does that work? I don't know.
What was his line?
6.2, 4 runs, but 2 earned runs.
Yeah, quality
So
start.
he still gets the QS.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. One less thing. What else do we got? Blue Jays O's. This was a series I teased up a week or two ago because if the Orioles did take care of their business and I took the kitty gloves off of them in Camden, if they took down the Blue Jays, we'd be having a much different conversation. Blue Jays came in. You're going to hear a lot about Bichette later because he is having a September to remember already, and we're like a week in. And then the names you'd want to say after a Blue Jays series: Gossman, Barrios, Manoah. They do their part in taking 3 out of 4 in this one. Like Manoah's chasing a Cy Young, man. Springer and Gurriel had 3-hit day in the first game. The Blue Jays do their work, and they're starting to put together a September that we kind of asked for, Trev. We wanted them to go and be scary for the playoffs, and they might be making some steps that way.
Yeah, Bichette with a 3-homer game. I answered this question on baseball today. They can be the scariest offensive lineup in baseball if they're all clicking at the same time. And I mentioned quite frequently that they haven't had that yet. Maybe now is the time. They ride that into the playoffs. Look out. Orioles, on the other hand, I mean, I would, if I'm them and you're 4.5 out now, like you got to use it as a rallying series, if you will. Like, hey, who cares? Put it past you. Let's keep going. Don't let this one series take you out of it mentally. I understand that 4.5 is different than 2.5, but plenty of baseball left for the Orioles to do their dang thing, man. And like, they don't have to change anything.
Right. Trev, you got a little robot on us.
I can't tell if I'm gone.
You got a little robot on us. You want to do a little leave and come back?
He's on it.
Okay. Trev's going to come back. Sorry, we haven't seen full robot Trev in a while.
Yeah.
That used to be a featured character on the show. That's pretty nuts, huh? And what he's saying is right. Like, Orioles, you're not dead. You don't feel alive right now. That would have been a huge one to have. All you can do is win games, win series the rest of the way, and hope that 4.5 turns to 3.5, turns to 2.5. Boston, Washington, and then you're playing Toronto again. So, there is a path there. There is a path there. Take care of your business. 5 games, Boston, Washington. 2 off days this late in the year. That's pretty nice, especially a team that uses their bullpen a lot. Toronto, though, they brought out the big guns, man. Bench is cleared in the 7th. That was fun. Was watching some of that live. Baker, their tall dude, and Trev's guy, Matt Chapman, getting a little loud. I think Teoscar was actually the problem. He was yupping a little bit. Alejandro Kirk, big hit in the last game. They do their thing. Angels, Tigers. Ohtani, you're going to hear about him in a minute. Suarez with a big start. And yeah, I'm sorry, guys. These teams are really in it at this point. Maybe there's a talk in Halos one day that we can recap this a little more. DM Nate Steele on Twitter and ask him for.
He'll talk Halos with you.
He'll let you know. I mean, we're tying it on throwing errors. Yeah, I'm out. The final thing I mentioned, it's a 2-gamer. You guys know where I stand on 2-game interleagues. Braves win both games against the Athletics. One of the best teams in baseball, one of the worst teams in baseball. The Braves briefly tied the Mets for the NL East lead, which, again, that is crazy. How many games back were they at one point? Was it double digits?
It was at least 10.
I think it was double digits. And by the way, if you're looking to get into some hairy stuff, the Doug Gottlieb, Casey Close, Freddie Freeman. Doug Gottlieb issued a thing on that from when he announced, Freddie Freeman's contract stuff. That's pretty nutty. Dansby with the go-ahead homer in Game 2. Yeah, that's Braves handle their business. They are back in the mix to win the NL East. Not even back in the mix. They are the mix. They are the mix. Speaking of the mix, we are going to the second half of the show. We're talking about standout performances, and those are brought to us by Athletic Greens AG1. You guys are familiar with them from us and probably from everywhere. These guys are blowing up. They're huge now. So you're probably saying, what are they, Jake? Tell you. With one scoop of AG1, one delicious scoop, excuse me, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, and probiotics to help start your day right. Athletic Greens uses the best of the best products based on the latest science with constant product iterations and third-party testing recommended by professional athletes. For every purchase, we donate to organizations helping to get nutritious foods to kids in need, including No Kid Hungry here in the U.S. Okay, we like that. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/baseball. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/baseball. Take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Thank you, Athletic Greens. Any word on Trev, Beebs?
I don't have him in our Zoom. I don't think we've gotten any messages from him otherwise.
Okay, can you reach out to him?
Yeah.
Please. Your standout performance, I'll go first because currently Trevor seems to be dead. And it's part of the reason I did skim over that Halo series quickly. I'm going to take the opportunity to talk about Shohei Ohtani. Shohei Ohtani had a 2-home run day. Me and Trev did a whole episode about Shohei Ohtani and Judge and will they be the MVP and what does that mean and who's going to catch who. Cooler heads prevailed per usual with me and Trev, but Shohei Ohtani, he has another 2-homer day. He's now up to 33 home runs on the day. The WAR is up to 8. His OPS is 892. Go around the league. There's not a lot of cats that have that. And by the way, any of the cats that do have that, they don't also pitch at an extremely high level to the tune of a 2.58 ERA in 23 starts. So 181 strikeouts in 136 innings. I mean, this guy, he's a Looney Tune. If 5 years ago you had a buddy who had a video game character that was doing this, you'd be like, this kind of sucks. Like, this isn't real. And it is. So, and we did the all JM team. We talked about the Bregman side of it and guys stand up. A lot of people saw that graphic and they were like, where's Shohei? We're thinking he gets the end of year best two-way player award. That we'll put really small in the corner of the graphic. Or maybe we start the damn graphic with him because he's Shohei Ohtani and he's incredible. So, Trev, we got you back, and I know you like this guy too.
I think we are doing the right thing. And it's the same as the baseball writers are going to have to do with the MVP vote. We don't know what to do with Shohei. And I think that's okay to say as baseball fans and people that need to talk about the sport. As far as awards go, what are you supposed to do with this guy? WAR isn't made for this. So like the WAR argument isn't right anymore. Like they don't know how to fully encapsulate what Shohei's doing. I don't know, man. I think it's awesome, dude. I think it's awesome that Judge is having the year that he's having and Shohei's like arrived essentially. He's being better than he was last year. You know, like it's an interesting case study in MVP voting, dude. And like, if Shohei wins it this year, he's gonna win it for the next 5 years as long as he's healthy, right? Like, I think we've talked about that. If this year from Judge doesn't take Ohtani off the MVP, then he's not going to be taken off of it.
Nothing can.
Yeah, health would be the only
That's
thing. It's I don't know, man. Like I've said from the start, we've got another 5 weeks of games. If Ohtani stays hot like he has, I mean, you're gonna find me in a tight spot if Judge hits the home run record. I mean, is there any world where we get into soft territory and there's co-MVPs?
I didn't hear you. What'd you say?
Is there any chance we get soft and there's co-MVPs?
Oh shit. No.
Okay.
Like, I mean, it could happen. It could happen, but it's not like they're going to say, you know what, guys, the decision's too difficult for us, so we're going to just come up and say they both win it. Would you be happy if that happened?
I'll say this. If Ohtani lands at like 40 homers and his stats and his pitching has been better this year, his pitching's incredible, and Judge breaks the home run record, he's like 65, then kind of, dude. Like, I know it sounds soft, and I almost hate myself for saying it, but if we're both there, like, at a certain point, when do you just shake hands and, like, we're completely different than everything else?
Yeah. I don't like people, like, a lot of, like, main media people have been coming out and saying, like, Michael K. talking about, like, take Judge off the Yankees. They're not where they are. We know that. Right. Joe Buck said the same thing. Take Judge off the Yankees. They're nowhere near where they're at. And, like, I understand that. No, I get it. But you could say the same thing about, like, you know, relative to where the Angels are. If they didn't have Shohei, they might lose 150 games. Like, he can't control what happens around him. He doesn't have the GM power. He's not the owner of the team. He doesn't put the people around him. He isn't the reason they haven't developed a fucking pitcher in Anaheim in years. Like, you just can't say that. So we talk about this a lot, but that's because no one has figured out how to just really encapsulate it, I guess.
And I guess that's where I feel like semi-comfortable saying that. It's just because if this continues and Shohei goes nuts and Judge breaks the home run record and carries that lineup of Yankees I just talked about across the finish line, then, yeah, man, like, have you seen that video of the two high jumpers that they both win Olympic gold, and they're like two buddies, and the Judge comes up to them, and they're like, well, you guys can jump again, or if you guys are both good here, you guys would both get the gold. And they both just, like, look at each other and start crying and are like, let's go. Like, I don't know. I know America doesn't love tie, but I think...
Dude, the merchandising, the cop buddies merchandising you could do, like Shohei and Judge, like...
Good branding.
God, imagine those two walk in somewhere. They're both huge. Like, I know Judge is massive. Shohei's big.
Shohei's big.
Shohei's faster than Judge. That's a great combination. I can't wait to see Shohei in pinstripes, man. Him and Judge on the Mets. Oh, it's gonna look great.
Get me some marketing campaigns. Everything you can do, I can do better, and they're just doing, like, back and forth. This is what I'm talking about. This is sports. Trev, who's your standout?
Hold on. So we got one guy in the chat real quick. He goes, this is the point I made to you, and I put this poll out on Twitter. He goes, if Judge gets 60-plus homers, give him the MVP. Otherwise, Ohtani, simple as that. Dead simple. What if Judge is 59, bro?
Right. Then it's over.
We're talking a robbed home run away from a fucking MVP. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Let's use our brains here.
Oh, No, when we write the movie, the Yankees should play the Angels the last series, and Ohtani plays right field, and he's at the porch, and then the movie just cuts.
Okay.
Up to you, the viewer, what happened.
Yeah.
Who's my standout?
You're talking about a guy who's just as sexy, I believe.
Did we already do standout performances? Or are we going to do
We're doing
it?
it right
I did
now.
mine.
You already did it.
You're doing
Who'd you do?
Shohei. That was the whole thing you just
That's the whole.
walked
I thought
into.
we were talking about the last series. Okay.
No, that series ended. You're talking about Chris Bassitt.
I'm talking about Chris motherfucking Bassitt, former teammate of mine, although he was hurt while I was in Oakland. But he was in the clubhouse. Very good guy. Got to know him very well. Nice guy. Great teammate. 7 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 10 Ks, 1 walk. And the reason I wanted to bring him up, obviously a great start, but yeah, you have Max Scherzer going out. You need someone to step up. And I really just liked his quotes about that, saying like, I don't really consider it that way. Like, I'm doing me out there. I'm going to go just handle my business. And he's been a model of consistency. As Buck Showalter said, he's been posting. He's been posting up all year. 13-7 with a 3.24. He's given you 26 starts. I don't think he's been on the IL at all this year. He's made all his starts. 1.134 whip. I mean, this is everything that you wanted when you bring this guy over to your organization. And like I said, I think he just is part of a good clubhouse culture that they have there in New York, which is crazy to say about the Mets. Just last year, we know what they were doing and what they were battling there. But it seems now like that culture is legit.
Yeah.
They're saying the right things. We're seeing the grittiness out of this team. Like, they are doing everything the right way. I know the Braves have caught them. That's more on the Braves than it is the Mets.
Yeah.
The Braves just went off and did it. I think Bassitt is a big part of that. So shout out to my guy. Also, like, he's intellectually hot.
Okay.
If you know what I mean.
He's a tall, smart guy, and that's a dangerous thing.
Sneaky good body. Like, he's one of those guys, you see him at the pool party, takes his shirt off, like, oh, okay.
Chris Bassitt. Yeah.
Chris Bassitt, you're tall,
Yeah.
big leaguer. He can get paid.
Is he a free agent this year?
He is a free agent. They have a mutual
next
option in 23,
Oh.
so yes.
Yeah.
If he so
Right.
decides, which he will.
If he's so inclined. Man, this group of standouts, a lot of guys we've mentioned through the episode, but I mean, like Corbin Burns, Muncy, Haas, Aquino, Grichuk, insane. Lewis Brinson, get it, kid.
Oh, yeah. 3 homers against the Dodgers.
Yamo, Yadier Molina, Varsho.
Suarez still doing it. My goodness.
Your guy.
It's still going to take some time. I think he's at what, like?
It's going to be close.
How many RBI does he have?
I think he's in the 70s. Like, I think you're kind of good, but
I think he's in the 80s now, bro.
Oh, boy. That wouldn't mean you're good.
79. Yeah, I'm still good. He's got 20 to go.
He'd have to get hot. Couple big
And how many games?
20, 28, 29, something like that. He'd have to finish
He's like
strong.
one big night from just getting
Yeah.
right back on pace.
One of those 6 RBI nights. Trev, a couple guys that unfortunately did not have one of those nights.
Oh, yeah. I forgot my new role in this.
Right. You're the hype guy. Well, let me tell you about Corey Seager, who went 0 for 14. Tough week, 6 Ks.
Corey, you are him, as the kids say. Don't worry about it. You got the bag. You got the ring. Got the MVP. You're a guy. 0 for 14. Who gives a fuck?
I mean, I'll jump around a little bit. Manny Machado's on here, 0 for 12. Similar speech.
Exact same speech. You're a guy. You think Manny Machado cares about going 0 for 12? No. Hall of Fame trajectory.
Like, definitely doesn't. And that's fine, because he's right. How about Lars Nootbaar with the 0 for 14?
Lars, it's all good, man.
Yeah.
Team is rolling right now. Just focus on that. Go learn from some of the vets on the team. Do your damn thing, baby. You're all right.
Ketel Marte with an 0 for 12, 4 Ks.
No one's watching. You're fine, bro. No
Come
one's
on.
seeing. No one.
He got his extension.
I hate that. And the last one,
Go hang out with Corbin Carroll. I want to see you two hang out. I'm enthralled with Carroll right now.
The last one, and I'm hyped for this one. Albert Pujols 0 for 10.
You know what I'll do with Albert? I say, Albert, I get it, man. I don't have much that I can teach you about the game of baseball, but what I do want to do with you right now is tell you that it's been an absolute pleasure watching you work and go into the stadium day in and day out and get yourself ready for the game. There's only one other guy that I've seen do it like you do it, and that's Jim Thome. Okay? So, brother, keep going. We're all rooting for you to pass A-Rod. We're all rooting for you to get to 700. And you can't say that about a lot of people in this game, A-Rod, Albert, where everybody's rooting for you. Just know that everyone's got your back.
He knocked you across the jaw for calling
He
him
did.
A-Rod.
When I said A-Rod, he fucking socked me.
He popped you.
He
popped
did.
you. I bet Albert would have a fun talking baseball episode with us. I think he would.
I don't think so, bro. I don't
he's
think
a
he'd
little
respect
silly.
us at all. Maybe me a little bit.
I think he's a little silly.
I don't think Albert respects me.
Okay. That was Slump Watch with myself and Trevor Plouffe. But it brings us to the opposite of that. And
Dirt nasties on Fuego. That means I'm on fire, baby. Like Waco.
Trev, walk me through the Hot Boys of Summer.
Well, we got a note here that says very possibly the single best in Fuego of all time, Lewis Brinson, who hit 3 homers against my Dodgers. Are they my Dodgers?
Yeah.
He ain't even on the list.
No.
Who is, though?
Yeah.
Bo Bichette, who we already talked about, who I think you minimized the font here. I can barely see it. 10 for 19, 4 Jimmy Jacks, a double, and 9 ribbies with a walk. Max Muncy, 7 for 13, 3 homers, 6 ribbies. David Villar, 6 for 8, 3 homers. A lot of homers, 5 ribbies. Mike Trout, no shit, 6 for 12, 3 homers, a double, 3 RBI. Dalton Varsho goes 4 for 10 with 3 homers. Shohei Ohtani goes 4 for 14 with 3 homers. Aaron Judge, 5 for 12 with 2 homer. He had 7 walks, 4 of them intentional. Guess what? The number be going higher this week. And Kyle Farmer doing it, 5 for 12, 2 homers, a triple, and 4 RBI. And then last but not least, our guy Yachty, 5 for 11, 2 homers. I think he went back-to-back at bats with it, a double, 4 RBI. And that who is in Fuego.
Trev, absolute artwork, a fantastic list. How about Yachty getting it? I love it. Cardinals fans got to be getting hype over that. And I know most of America is getting hype over football being back. Big game last night, a huge Sunday. Everyone's figuring out. You're changing your Sunday plans for the first NFL Sunday. And you can change your Sunday with DraftKings, the official sports betting partner of the NFL. If you're looking to get in the game, new customers can bet just $5 and get $200 in free bets instantly. They have an early win promotion. If your team goes up at 10 at any point, it's over. You win. Second Vince Carter reference. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code JOHNBOY to get $200 in free bets instantly when you place a $5 bet this Sunday. That's code JOHNBOY only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details.
Awards!
Trevor?
I have a simple award here, my people. We're not going to go into too much detail here. I'm going to call it the Jake Storiale Award. You want to know why?
Why is that?
Because this team I'm about to talk about is built diffy. We're going to talk about the Dodgers. Jason Stark had a nice article in The Athletic, just kind of encapsulating how good they actually are. Okay? They're on pace for 112 wins. They won 106 last year. No team has ever won 106 one year and then won more games the next. Built diffy. They have an expected win-loss record of 117-45. Okay? That would be a record. The most expected wins in a season by any team since 1900 is 115 by the 1906 Cubs.
Good squad, though.
Good squad right there.
Fundamentals.
Right now they're sitting at positive 298 run differential, which puts them on pace for a 355 run differential. The only team since 1900 who have made it to 350 or above. Jake, you're going to know these teams. 1939 Yankees, who are plus 411, and the 1927 Yankees. So we're talking about all-time teams here with the Dodgers. They're the best at everything in the sport, he goes on to say. They lead everyone in runs scored. They lead the league in runs allowed, and they lead the National League in defensive runs saved. Like this team that we're watching, it's almost like when I say, hey, we know, go watch Judge play right now. We're watching something historic. Go watch Ohtani play right now. We're watching something historic. Go watch the fucking Dodgers play, because what we're seeing here is historic. And I know the regular season doesn't mean everything, that you got to go do it in the playoffs. But man, like when you read off some of those numbers, it's pretty incredible what we're watching here. And they have dealt with injury after injury, guys slumping. It doesn't matter. It just seems like they're able to fill those holes whenever one arises. And it's super impressive. So shout out the Jake Storiale Dodgers. They've just built a little different.
I mean, artistic stuff, Trev. That was beautiful. They're so good. I mean, when I saw that the projected for 112 thing pop up this morning, it's just like, damn, man. Damn. They are on the hunt. They're so good. You know, it's these obvious statements that we've said over and over, but this team was good. They added Mookie Betts. This team was good. They added Trey Turner. This team was good. They added Freddie Freeman. Those are now the top three in their lineup. And that's before Muncy and Turner have been as hot as you can be for a little bit now. The pitching's been great. It's not a lot of the names you know, but it's historic. As you know, in a similar but different boats as Shohei and Judge. But if they finish the deal, then we will be having Talkin' Baseball episodes that are, is this the best team of all time?
Crazy.
It's a great award, Trevor. I will be doing the No Dogs Allowed award.
Oh.
Trev, I've got my dog Noodle the Doodle. He's recovering. He's been a cone dog for a while. He's starting to use it as a weapon. Kind of stinks, actually. He stinks. I stink. It's tough. Jess is on her bachelorette right now, so we're just two stinky, lonely dogs in the apartment. The dog days are over, Trev. And we kind of asked a team and a player to kind of go. A guy, when you put baseball players talent-wise on a field and you say, where does this dude rank? You could put this guy really high. And he was just kind of being, Bichette has put the dog days of summer behind. He finished August 260, 305, a 725 OPS. Those are fine and actually good from the shortstop position, but that ain't Bichette. So as you mentioned in Fuego, the guy has gone Looney Tunes in September. He is 16 for 31 with 5 homers, 3 doubles. That's a .516 batting average, a 1.642 OPS. You know, we did a fun one last year. We might see if we dig it out for a midweek this year. Was guys who can change how their season looks by the end of it with a couple good weeks, like those final 3 weeks. Bichette could end up being one of those guys. With that OPS at 776, man, that 8 OPS hits diffy, as we've talked about. And, man, you know, it's Pittsburgh and Baltimore. Hey, Baltimore's been really good this year. That was a big series, and he has a 3-homer day. That's special. They moved that fence back at Camden, too. People forget that. I want to give Bichette and the Blue Jays some love. Sometimes we're tough on them as Yankee fans. They're the young, cocky kid on the block that hasn't fully done it yet, but they can. And I think that whole team kind of has hit the go button, and I'm excited to see what it looks like. And Bo's a big part of it, man. Huge part of it.
Long lineup. Chris Rose has them to win the World Series against the Mets, I believe. So prove Chris Rose right, guys.
Wow. Chris Rose, huh? I didn't know he was a swag guy like that.
He's everywhere, man.
Yeah.
We got stimulation. I forgot that it's Friday.
Best friend in a stimulating. Let's get out of here.
Guys, our best friend is a repeat. It's Lance Lynn. He goes 7 innings, 1 run, and that run was unearned. 11 Ks, 3 hits, 1 walk. He has a 1.05 ERA in his last 4 starts. Hello.
Don't let the Sox get hot.
If that guy is pitching past October 5th, you've got problems. Speaking of problems, Friday, September 9th, we are stimulating and we are simulating. We'll start in the National League this week, where if the playoffs started today, it would be Cardinals-Phillies.
The Phillies got it.
Woo! Bye, Albert. Get that?
I don't know.
Albert's joining Talkin' Baseball. The Braves and the Padres are facing off in Atlanta.
It's Atlanta.
It is Atlanta.
Yes.
So that means the Phillies and the Mets are facing off in the division series.
The Mets.
Okay.
Mets roll. They save their guys. That's smart. Dodgers, Braves. We've seen this a couple times now in the stim.
Dodgers.
Dodgers, Mets, save that. Whew. Check out the Talkin' Baseball live streams for that one. Let's go to the American League, where as of today, the Guardians and the Blue Jays would face off.
Go Cleveland.
Wow. Just gave Bo some love, and he gone. Rays, Mariners. Ooh, look at those color schemes.
Huh.
Yeah.
It's looking like the Rays.
Oh, don't let the Rays
you're made everyone mad now.
Don't let the Rays get. We gave Big Dumper so much love. We gave Bo
And
so
that
much
dumper
love.
is big.
It's a big dumper. Yankees, Guardians? Is that what I'm hearing?
Wow. Yankees.
Yes, sir.
I don't know about that, bro.
Yes, sir. Astros are facing the Rays. Here's one. A popular matchup from past years.
The Rays.
Whoa. Houston goes down, and we have an AL East CS. The Yankees versus the Rays, a series we're seeing this weekend.
The Rays.
Yeah, it is. You know, if that happens, you know it's the Rays.
Trevor and his Rays throwback today that doesn't even fucking exist because they're not a throwback team. The Mets and the Dodgers to face the Rays in the World Series.
The Mets.
Wow, I thought it was going to be an Andrew Friedman love fest. It is not. Mets, Rays?
Oh.
It's the Rays, baby.
Oh, we did it.
We're raising banners in Tampa. The Trop. We're having a parade. I might go down for that parade if that's happening. The stimulator has been rowdy.
Golly, that's a tough one today, Beavers.
It's been a rowdy stimulator. Thank you guys.
I'll tell you guys.
We are back Monday. Some big series.
Baseball. Jay Sox.
I can't hear it. Big sucks.